Welcome to the 99 Seconds Career Podcast. My name is Jürgen Schmid. I am career mentor and coach, consultant, teacher and speaker. Every other week, we'll bring up all kinds of career aspects in a way you have maybe never heard before. In 99 seconds or a bit more. Welcome back to the show. I am glad you're here. Let's open this episode with a little nostalgia. I'm going to assume that most of us have met a slightly anxious kid called Charlie Brown and his beagle Snoopy somewhere along the way. Maybe in the newspaper, maybe on TV, maybe on a mug in a kitchen cupboard. Since October 1950, these characters have been part of Peanuts, the comic strip created by Charles M. Schulz and first launched in just 7 US newspapers, including titles like the Washington Post and the Chicago Tribune. From that modest start, Peanuts quietly grew into a global phenomenon. By the 1960s, it was already shaping pop culture, and by the 70s it had become a worldwide brand, translated into many languages and appearing in thousands of newspapers. At its peak, the strip reached around 355 million readers in 75 countries through more than 2,600 papers. What made Peanuts so special wasn't just the cute drawings, it was the emotional depth hiding in those simple panels. Schulz turned the daily comic into a place for gentle, philosophical storytelling, swapping slapstick for quiet humor mixed with psychology, doubt and hope. Through children who often spoke like adults, he explored anxiety, loneliness, failure, friendship and the search for meaning, topics that were unusually honest for a newspaper comic in the 1950s and 60s. The original strip ended in early 2000 after almost 50 years of daily work, leaving behind 17,897 individual strips, often described as arguably the longest story ever told by one human being. And yet, even though no new Peanuts stories are being created, Charlie Brown and Snoopy still feel strangely present in our lives today. Besides Charlie Brown, Snoopy and other characters, there is a loud, bossy and crabby girl in Peanuts who loves giving advice and teasing others. Her name is Lucy. She often bullies, but also secretly cares about Charlie Brown and her little brother Linus. She runs a psychiatric help booth where she gives advice for 5 cents. In one of the strips, she has a conversation with Snoopy asking him why he has decided to become a dog. Now, here his answer: because I was fooled by the job description. Sounds funny? Let's think twice. 60% of employees say that the realities of their new job differs from expectations set during the interview process, and equally interesting that 60% of new hires look for a new job in the first 6 months and half of them quit during that time. I guess nobody really wants to be in that situation, but what can we practically do to reduce the risk ending up there? Let's get into the first big shift, treating interviews as a two-way street. Most of us were taught to see job interviews as a kind of exam. The company asks the questions, we try to give the right answers, and if we're lucky, they choose us. But that mindset is exactly what makes it so easy to fall into that expectations trap. Because when you're busy trying to impress, you're not really testing whether this job and this environment truly works for you. To be blunt, I want you to imagine a different role for yourself. You're not just a candidate, you are also an investigator. Your job is to collect evidence about what life in this role actually looks like. And it starts with the questions you ask. Instead of asking, what's the company culture like, which usually gets you a polished, generic answer, you can go more concrete. Try questions like, can you walk me through what a typical week in this role looks like? In the last month, what were the 3 things this team spent most of their time on? What are the least fun or most frustrating parts of this job that I should know about? These questions do 2 things. First, they force the other person to move away from vague marketing language and talk about what actually happens. Second, they signal that you are serious, thoughtful, and not just here for the buzzwords. You can even frame it gently and empathetically. I really want to make sure I'm not only a good fit for you, but that this job is a good fit for me long term. Could you share an honest picture of the tough parts, not just the highlights? Most managers respect that. And if someone reacts defensively or avoids specifics, that's already useful data for you. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest sources of disappointment: how much and when you actually work. Many candidates hear phrases like, "We value work-life balance," or "We are flexible," and assume that means that they'll be able to close the laptop at a reasonable time or working from home when needed. But in reality, flexible can mean very different things in different teams. So here again, you want to get specific. You might say, on this team, what does a normal week look like in terms of hours? How often do urgent tasks come in late in the day or on weekends? What time do people typically log off? And when you get an answer, don't be afraid to reflect it back. So, if I hear you correctly, most people are online from about 9 to 1800, and it's rare to work late or on weekends. Is that right? You're not being difficult by doing this. You're simply making sure that what you hear is clear, not wishful thinking. You can do the same with flexibility. How many days are people actually in the office right now? If someone has a personal appointment in the afternoon, how do people usually handle that? The goal isn't to get a perfect answer. The goal is to see how honest and concrete the answer is. Another reason people feel misled is that success criteria are fuzzy. You join, you work hard, but you're never quite sure if you're doing enough or focusing on the right things. So, before you accept an offer, it's completely fair to ask, what does success look like after 3 months in this role and after 6 months? What were the reasons the last person in that job succeeded or struggled? You can add, if I join, I want to make sure I'm focusing on the things that really move the needle for you. What would you hope I've achieved by the end of my first 6 months? Then shift to support. What does onboarding look like? Will I have someone to shadow or a buddy I can ask stupid questions? How often will we have one-on-ones in the beginning? You're not asking for hand-holding. You're asking whether this role is set up for you to succeed. And that matters, because if there is no real onboarding and no feedback, it's very easy to end up in that group of people who quietly start job hunting again after a few months. So, after listening to this, you now could let Lucy know what to tell Snoopy on how not to fall into this trap again. Any thoughts on this? Maybe you want to share your career stories and challenges with me. Good idea. Let us continue that conversation. If you like my approach towards career and professional development, and want to get some more personalized guidance, please reach out. I am here to help. And please don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share this episode with someone who could use a little extra career inspiration. Hope you enjoyed listening, and you will come back again in 2 weeks. We'll then look at how we can navigate office politics without losing ourselves. Curious? Be sure to tune in for our next episode. But for now, thank you for listening and thinking along. I wish you success for the path you're following or creating. My name is Jürgen Schmid, and until next time, be the difference, remain curious, and shine.